Well, welcome back. Something has to be said and acknowledged about these comedy writers, producers, comedians, actors that continue to make millions of people laugh, cry, or just feel good simply because they knew exactly what laughter meant. That it is one of the most sacred truths in life. I don't know of one person that doesn't like to laugh and maybe even cry in laughter. And most of what happens on this planet is not funny. And hey, I had an aunt that would literally pee when she witnessed something hysterical. And I can't make this up. I would not lie about something like this. And she had this aura and incredible energy to her. And dear God, do I miss her. The following people understood this and they lived a long life simply because they not only knew this, they lived it. Norman Lear died just 2 weeks ago at the age of 101. The following three comedians are still alive. Dick Van Dyke just celebrated his 98th birthday, and Mel Brooks is 97. Bob Newhart is 94 and still going, and the following people are deceased. George Burns died at the age of 100. Phyllis Diller was 95 when she passed. Both Jackie Mason and Milton Berle were 93. Henny Youngman was 91. Jonathan Winters was 87. Dick Gregory was 84. Rodney Dangerfield was 82, Jack Benny was 80, Buddy Hackett was 78, and Alan King was 76. The one thing about comedy that will survive forever is that we humans just cannot live without it, and these folks knew it, especially now since we have wars raging in the Middle East, Ukraine, climate change, and lunatics parading as politicians that rant, rave, and distort reality to the point of total absurdity and frenzy by playing the us versus them card. As I stated once before, there used to be an aisle in politics that you could cross and reach over to. That aisle no longer exists, and we pay a price for that. Be careful out there, folks, and be cognizant of what you're being told. And somehow I managed to go from comedy greats to the dark side of politics. Forgive me while I digress. I don't know how I did this, but, anyways, just following the script. Recently, my wife and I went to dinner for my birthday, and my brother just happened to call while we were in the restaurant. And I thanked him for remembering my 70th birthday, and I asked him if he could give me his credit card number since this could be my birthday gift. And fortunately, my brother has a good sense of humor, and I had to pay. I was listening to a segment on one of the morning shows when they asked the CEO of an airline about the expense increases for travelers as prices keep escalating. And naturally, the CEO stated that we're listening to our customers' complaints, but what he really meant to say was that we're listening to our clients, we're just not going to do anything about it, and you'll love our new planes. And of course, cash comes first. And you must make clear to yourself what it is you actually want. Then you will see what nonsense it is. Now, I read this somewhere a while ago, but I forget where I read it. A few years ago, one of the account executives I worked with informed me that she sent me a birthday card in the mail since she was working in another office in Woodbury, Long Island. And she would occasionally call me or email me asking me if I got the birthday card. And I hadn't. She was concerned as she included money in the card, so the devil in me came out as we had an unusual rapport, always joking with each other with constant sarcasm and witty remarks. So I told her that since it's now past my birthday, maybe you should send me the money you said you had since I haven't seen it yet. And it may have been stolen, and their office was only about 40 miles or so away from ours. And this was close to Christmas. And I wasn't sure if she believed me, and on the flip side, she wasn't sure if I believed her. So I told her that I would give her a few more days and that we would stay in touch. And then I told her that I earned the money you sent me since I offer a lot of support to you all year, she being in sales. But she knew I was joking around, and the money showed up 2 days later. And I knew she was nervous, and she knew that I would have never made her send another card with cash in it. She was always a lot of fun and very comical, and as always, I missed the people that I worked with who were very humane, relatable, and had a sense of humor, and she was one of them. Recently, my wife and I went through a rather disturbing situation that reemerged from a few years ago, and this person, as we all well know, you have to manage it somehow and get on with your life, or as I say, absorb it, process it, spit it out, and move on. I'm not really into using these forgettable inspirational quotes or proverbs, as they always wash away rather quickly. But recently, this one worked for me, and strangely enough, it happened on December 7th, the day of infamy. And I came across this quote that I enjoyed it's from Abba Eban, how about even, an Israeli diplomat, politician, scholar, and he quotes that history teaches us that men and nations behave wisely once they have exhausted all other alternatives. That's a keeper. And there are people that are so obsessed with fame, fortune, and notoriety, and most of them lived in LA, a la Kate Moss, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Paris Hilton, to name a few, and that they will do anything to maintain this lifestyle. And some go as far as destroying their lives and other people's lives also. And as the Steely Dan song Showbiz Kids states, showbiz kids making movies of themselves, they don't give a fuck about anybody else. Sorry about the F word. And speaking of comical quotes, I'm eternally in love with this one. I would never become a member of an organization that would have me as a member. And of course, it's the one and only inimitable Groucho Marx, and I'm out.